Life is not short. It only feels that way because we waste so much of it. These are the words of Seneca, one of the greatest stoic philosophers. Most people complain that life is too short. We're only here for a brief moment, and life runs out just when we're beginning to live. But according to Seneca, life is long enough for us to achieve our wildest dreams, but we waste most of it. Maybe this is what people really mean when they say life is short. They look back on their life and see how much time they've wasted, and they wish they could go back and do things differently. The fraction of time that they've genuinely lived pales in comparison to all the time they've wasted. Seneca was writing about this long before the internet and social media. The amount of ways to waste our time has grown exponentially. But let's take a closer look at the idea that life is long, because some people might say that even if you don't waste your time, there's still not that much of it. This is a comic by Zach Wiener-Smith that does a great job of illustrating how long life really is. It takes around 7 years to master something. If you live to 88 years, which is pretty reasonable if medical technology keeps advancing, then after age 11, you have 11 opportunities to be great at something. It's as if you have 11 whole lifetimes that you get to live. Many people allow themselves to get stuck in one type of life, scared to make a big change. Some are stuck regretting the past, thinking about what could have been instead of what could still be. But if you're willing to take the leap, you can live many lives. You can quit whatever you're doing right now and spend your next life as an artist. And in 7 years, you can quit that life and become a chef. You can live so many lives with the time you have. Do you still think life is short? Now you might be thinking, but Merlin, I'm already over 25. My life is basically over. It's too late for me to start something new. Well, I'm going to be 30 soon, and I can confirm that life is not over yet. There is a broader phenomenon where society tends to focus on people who achieve success when they're young. But that doesn't mean you can't do amazing things by starting from scratch later in life. Vincent van Gogh started painting at 27. Haruki Murakami started writing novels at 29. Anna Moses started painting at 78. There are countless examples of this, but it's not emphasized in the media, because the genius kid who did something great at age 13 is better clickbait than some middle-aged person making a career switch. The point is, life is actually long. Even if you feel like you wasted everything that came before this moment, you still have enough time left to start over from scratch and live multiple fulfilling lives. Unless you're like 100, at which point that's still not an excuse because Carmen Herrera was painting until 106. So life is actually pretty long, but it only feels that way if you don't waste it. Seneca thinks we waste time because it's intangible. We can't see or feel the time we're wasting. We only notice it in hindsight. Since it's not a physical thing, we treat it as if it's very cheap, almost without any value. You wouldn't let anyone steal your property, but you constantly let people steal your time, which is infinitely more valuable. Deep down, we know we're going to die and our time is limited, but on a daily basis, we act like we're going to live forever. If you were about to die, but you could spend some money to live a few more days, you'd probably spend your entire life savings for that extra time. That's how much your time is actually worth. If you could see your remaining lifespan, just like you can see all the years you've already spent, you'd be pretty alarmed if you saw only a few years remaining. You'd use that time very carefully. It's easier to manage something when you can quantify it. One exercise that might help with this is putting a monetary value on your time. What's your hourly rate? And I don't mean what you currently get paid at your job, because they're definitely undervaluing your time. How much would someone need to pay you to instantly decrease your remaining lifespan by 1 hour? 1,000? 100,000? A million? Now treat your time as if it's actually worth that much money, and your decision-making will change drastically. Should I really scroll through TikTok right now? If I spend 10 minutes on that, it's worth $150,000 to me, and they're paying me $0 and a few small dopamine hits for that time, so no thanks. It's easy to let other people and technology suck all of our time away when we've forgotten how much that time is worth. Your time is the most precious and valuable resource on Earth. Lots of rich people are investing in life extension companies, but even if you lived to 1,000 years, you would still think life was short. Because if you don't know how to spend your time well, even 1,000 years will feel wasted. Besides the obvious ways to waste time, another big time waster is the deferred life plan. It's when you say something like, I want to do X, but before I do that, I'll spend a few years doing Y. For example, maybe you want to travel the world, but you plan to save your money for 20 years and wait until you retire, and then you'll travel. Why don't you just travel right now? You aren't exactly guaranteed to make it to retirement. Maybe there's a way to plan your vacation time and savings so that you travel once a year instead of waiting to do it all at the end. Of course, everyone's situation is different. Maybe you don't have much of a choice. You might be severely constrained by money, and that's fair. Seneca could talk about choosing how to spend his time because he was a rich guy. He didn't have to do anything he didn't want to. But lots of people postpone their dreams and aspirations for no good reason. Lots of people are waiting for the perfect time to start doing the thing they've always wanted to do, and that perfect time may never come. Lots of people pursue things in the short term that don't give them any fulfillment at all. They chase status or approval instead of living authentic lives. Your time is the most precious thing there is. Spend it on the things that actually matter, and when your last day comes, you'll be smiling, knowing that you spent most of your life actually living instead of just existing.